Morning, everyone. Boker Tov. I wish a Baruch Haba to Rabbi Sanders. It's an honor of praying with us this morning. And we sang a little bit at the Nakli Shach, and we didn't do Tachanun this morning because Bezrat Hashem there's going to be a Brit, hopefully soon. It'll be arriving soon. And if anyone could stay to ensure there's a minyan, that would be greatly appreciated. There's going to be a little bit of bagels outside afterward as well for everyone. We are at the end of Siman Rish Mem Chet. We spoke about traveling on a boat over Shabbat, and here there's a end of the halacha over here that has to do with that as well. But here's a little bit of a different halacha, something that we're not so used to today, but we could garner some halachot that are practical for today from here. Shulchan Aruch talks about back in the day people would travel b'shayara, in a caravan. They travel in a group. They had to travel by foot, by donkey, and they traveled far distances over the midbar. You need to travel to Eretz Yisrael, you need to travel from one place to another. So people would travel in groups because there's animals, there could be robbers. And what happens is let's say you got a group that they're not going to stop on Shabbat. So there's an issue there. So the Shulchan Aruch says if a person's going on a caravan and everyone knows that it's going to come a time that when it hits Shabbat, they're going to keep on traveling. And because of the sakana, they can't stay in the midbar by themselves. So if you know this is like a guarantee going to happen, then you could only travel 3 days prior to Shabbat, so that it might actually not end up happening. So therefore you have to travel already 3 days before. Here actually the Shulchan Aruch does say Yom Rishon Sheni Shlishi, not Revi'i. We saw this poskim that say when it comes to the boat, that Revi'i is included, that you could go on. So he says go early, and then hopefully it won't end up being you'll get there in time. Things will change, because if you go closer to Shabbat, then you know that it's going to happen. You know you're going to have to mechalel. He continues on saying that so you left early, and now it came to Shabbat, and you're not going to stay in the midbar by yourself. There's animals, there's sakana nefashot. So you're allowed to continue to travel. If it ends up being that there's sakana, you're allowed to mechalel Shabbat because of the pikuach nefesh. But if you're going to Eretz Yisrael, there's discussion, is it just for vacation or just to live there? Most poskim say to live there, and this is again at the time, they didn't go there for just a few days. And if you got a caravan Erev Shabbat, even before Shabbat, because it's Devar Mitzvah, you're allowed to go, even though it could likely be that there's going to be, they're not going to stop on Shabbat, there's going to be a sakana to stop in the desert on Shabbat, you're going to need to be mechalel, so it would be allowed. So connecting to this is halacha regarding let's say the army going and attacking a city for the first time within 3 days of Shabbat. So, of course, if there's sakana nefashot, if there's threats, they're going to come and attack this and that, for sure. Even if we know to even attack on Shabbat, if there's these threats. But let's say they want to do a preemptive strike and there's no difference. Ideally, it should be done 3 days before Shabbat, because then hopefully the mission will be done and it won't lead into Chilul Shabbat. And so too, when it comes to, let's say, a surgery. If let's say there's a surgery, of course, if it's a pikuach nefesh or safek pikuach nefesh then even before Shabbat, even on Shabbat you would need to if that's the situation. But if, let's say, he gives an example, let's say removing tonsils. So it's something that's not pikuach nefesh. So those type of things should be set up 3 days prior to Shabbat. Because again, if it's close to Shabbat, there might be, it's a same day operation. But you never know, things might happen, might be complications. It might lead into Chilul Shabbat. So you want to avoid that. In a non-life-threatening type of surgery, it should be done 3 days or earlier before Shabbat. And just to end off, the Ramah says here at the end, because we spoke about what's considered Devar Mitzvah, that you're allowed to travel for Devar Mitzvah, and you're allowed to travel on a Friday, let's say in the case of the boat. And here says the Ramah, if you go for schora, if you go for business, or even if you go see your friend, you haven't seen him in a while, chashuva kol Dvar Mitzvah. And ve'eno chashuv dvar hareshut rak kesheolech letayel. Only if you're going on a vacation, that's like dvar reshut. But he ends off by saying as follows, and even Sfardik poskim say we could rely on this if needed. ועל כן נהגו בקצת מקומות להקל בעניין הפלגת הספינות והליכת שיירה תוך 3 ימים. It is accustomed for people to go and travel on boats and in a caravan within 3 days. כי חושבים הכל לדבר מצווה ואין למחות בידן, הואיל ויש להם מה שיסמוכו. So they consider like every purpose is for a Dvar Mitzvah. You could find the mitzvah in every purpose of traveling. And the truth is, we should try in our life, every action that we do, every motion that we go, every place we go, it should be the Dvar Mitzvah. And therefore, there could always be a mitzvah attached to it, En limchot beyadan, and therefore don't scream at them, or you have to go 3 days before. They have what to rely on. So that's again in a need case, then one can rely on that. That brings us to the end of Siman Reish Mem Chet. Hope we enjoyed it. A lot of it gives us in the mood of traveling with these halachot. And Bezrat Hashem will continue tomorrow with Siman Reish Mem Tet. Mincha tonight at 6:45. We have the Hilulah tonight as well. So we're starting Mincha and then Arvit, and then we're going to go down to the Hilulah. So Hilulah should be starting the dinner part, whatever, about 7:15 or so. Have a good day, everyone. Tana D'Eliyahu.